My name's Corey, and I'm a financial coach. My whole mission is to help people change their relationship with money and to spread the knowledge of how to win with money. Today, we have about 6 to 10 inches of snow, so I'm not coming to you from my office. But I have a few things to do around the house, so I'm going to talk to you while I fix our washing machine. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the 3 things that allowed me to get out of debt. But first, let's go get some tools to fix this washing machine. Okay, so I got the back off the washing machine, and that's not where the problem is, because there's nothing going on back there. That brings me to the first of 3 things that allowed us to get out of debt. The first was that we had to be 100% committed. My wife and I had tried a dozen times, at least, to get out of debt. We knew that being in debt and paying all that interest was just bad. I had even done the worst kind of borrowing you can. I borrowed against my retirement to pay off my credit cards. But then, just after a short time, we were right back where we began, with the credit cards all charged up. For us, there was always just one more purchase, one more meal dining out, one more expense before we would really commit. For me, the worst thing was the coffee. Another cup of coffee, I deserved it, I worked hard, and it wasn't that much. There was a couch set that we bought because we had a birthday party coming up and ours looked bad. There was even, the worst of all, a $5,000 set of pans that I bought. Now don't get me wrong, the pans are definitely worth it, but not worth the $10,000 I wound up paying when you tacked on all the interest. It wasn't until we committed 100%. We found a goal and knew that the only way we were going to achieve it was by getting out of debt and freeing up all this money that was going out in interest. My wife had a feeling, she gets those. And she said that she had a feeling that we needed to move from Florida back to Washington. It was on December 27th, 2018 that I promised her that we would make it happen, and we'd do it within a year. At the time, I had no idea how, but I was committed to make it happen. Now let's see where else we can open up this washing machine and figure out what's going on with it. Nope, that's not it either. So I took a look under the washing machine and it is a mess down there. It's beyond my ability to fix, so we're gonna get it put back together and I'm gonna have to call a service tech. That brings us to the second thing that allowed us to get out of debt, and that was we had to get on a plan. For years, we had known that we needed to get out of debt, and that we had to stop living beyond our means. Over and over again, I was the one that would freak out over being in debt. I would be the one to draw a line in the sand and say, no more. I had done this so many times, and I would get so irrational over our spending that Jennifer just stopped talking to me about money. She wouldn't listen to me. Anytime I started talking about money, she would just shut down because she was tired of me being like a monster about money. Well, I had studied accounting and finance in college, so I should be able to figure this out, right? I mean, I literally had spent tens of thousands of dollars learning about how money works. I should be able to figure this out. We kept failing time and time again. Why? Because we weren't on any sort of plan, and I was so arrogant that I thought I could figure it out. It was when I became more humble and admitted that I didn't know what I didn't know that we were able to get on a path that took us forward instead of just staying in the same place and fighting all the time. I did an internet search on how to get out of debt, and of course that took me to Dave Ramsey. In the next 2 weeks, I read the books, I listened to the podcasts, I studied as much as I could about the baby steps. Then I went to Jennifer. And at first I was scared. Jennifer and I had been in so many fights about money. I went to her and I knelt down next to our bed where she was doing some work on her computer, and I told her that I had found a debt payoff strategy. I saw her brace herself. I explained what I had found, and her expression changed. She had heard of the baby steps. One of the YouTube families that she was watching were putting their entire move on YouTube, and they were using the baby steps. So this time, she knew I wasn't making it up all on my own. We had some clearly defined steps and a roadmap to get us there. So that brings me to the last of the 3 things that allowed us to get out of debt. And this third thing was, we had to change our habits. We were living in Central Florida, just outside of Lake Buena Vista. So basically, we were living at the back gate of Walt Disney World. The happiest place on earth is one of the best places at separating people from their money. We still had habits built from when we first moved there, before we had 3 kids, which are also pretty good at separating people from their money. Kids gotta eat. And then there's clothes, there's sports, birthdays, and then everything that you want to do costs more. Now, we made the decision early in our marriage that we would not let our finances dictate when we had children. If we had done that, we would never have 3 of the most wonderful people in the world in our lives. We decided that we'd have our kids and figure out the finances along the way. But then, we never did any figuring. We maintained the same habits: theme park tickets, dining out, fast food whenever we were running late, and then the promotions started coming my way. I was making more money. So shouldn't we be able to afford more? We were in a downward spiral. We were spending for the lifestyle we thought we should have while still paying for the one that we had when we were younger. So now that we were on this new path, we knew we needed to change our habits. And we started with something simple. I stopped buying coffee. I wouldn't buy it at the gas station, I wouldn't buy it at the coffee shop, not Starbucks, not anything. Then we stopped eating out. We made sure that we planned outings with enough time that we would get home in time to make dinner. And then the big one, the thing that really gave us that first big leap forward. We gave up our annual hotel stay at the Disney Resort. Instead of staying at the resort for a long weekend, which we had done every year, we took our tax return and piled it right into our debt snowball. Doing this helped us pay $3,000 in our first 60 days of trying to get out of debt. And we made it. We stayed true to our commitment. We were able to spend Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas here in our new home in Washington, debt-free with the exception of our mortgage. There were a lot of twists and turns along the road that got us here. And looking back, there are a few things I would have done differently, but learning is all part of the journey. Well, I didn't win against the washing machine, but hopefully I provided you some value today. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button down below. And if you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead and follow me. I'm just getting started here. So if there's something you'd like me to talk about or a question you'd like to ask, go ahead and drop a comment down below. And maybe I'll address that in one of my coming videos.